In 10,000 BC to 6000 BC, the first work for pay was a barter system that allowed work to be exchanged for goods or other works. During medieval and pre-industrial period, salaried personals were rare. Payment during the first industrial revolution way back in 1520 to 1650 was paid for per unit produced. The second industrial revolution from 1870 to 1930 gave rise to salaried executives. With the industrialization of Japan, word salaryman was coined. In 20th century, the rise of service economy made salaried employment a common word. Hello everyone, I am Dr. Vijay. Today we will discuss about establishing pay rates. After taking this lecture, you should be able to understand pay rates, establish them for your organization. You will also be able to explain how to price managerial and professional jobs, and finally you can draw wage curve. Please give a close attention throughout the video. You will have lots of learning. To establish pay rates, we need to follow 5 steps. The first step is to conduct salary survey. Here we achieve external equity, basically to say by offering similar pay as is given in industry will bring external equity. Alright. Then we have determining the worth of each job. Here we achieve the internal equity. By internal equity, we are saying that the job with more responsibility, accountability and tasks shall be paid high compared to others. Alright. Then we have in third step, we group similar jobs into pay grades. Then we price each job or grades. And finally, we need to fine tune the grades. Alright, let's understand these steps in detail. It is very difficult to set pay rates if you don't know what others are paying. Okay, hence to establish pay for different positions, the first thing that we need to do is to carry salary survey. Alright, salary surveys are aimed at determining existing wage rates. Every employer conducts these surveys, maybe virtually. By virtually we mean as he may conduct informal telephonic calls or internet surveys. Okay, employers achieve 3 things by these surveys. The first is price benchmark jobs. Let's understand what we mean by benchmark jobs up here. Benchmark jobs are jobs that are used to set a standard, and the other jobs are arranged in reference to the benchmark jobs. Let's understand this with an example. Let's say we benchmarked manager job in sales department and priced it at 1 lakh rupees per month. Now the employee subordinate to manager will be given lesser salary or lesser pay than manager salary, and the employees who are senior to manager will have higher pay or perks than manager. Okay, then we have price position directly as per industry norms. Here we give the same salary or remuneration as given in the industry. Alright, it is observed that 20% of the total jobs are priced at industry level by most of the companies or organizations. The third thing that is achieved is that the employer also comes across the benefits offered, for example, sick leaves, overtime policies, paid vacations, etc. to employees in industry, and thereby he may keep the similar standards in his organization to avoid any kind of demotivation among employees, retrenchment and reduced turnover rates. Okay, salary surveys can be conducted in 2 ways, the formal one and the informal one. Most of the government department conducts formal salary survey by means of structured questionnaire, whereas informal surveys are conducted via telephone calls or internet surfing. Some of the internet sites for salary survey are mentioned in description box, like averagesalarysurvey.com, payscale.com, etc. are some of the sites. There is one very important aspect that the students or employees must learn, that is, before facing an interview, they shall be clear about what shall they expect for a particular position. Alright, that could be achieved by a salary survey. Let's move to second step, that's determining the worth of each job. We carry job evaluations to determine the worth of a job. Job evaluation is a formal and systematic comparison done in order to determine the worth of one job in relation to other job. Alright, there are basically two principles for this. The first one is to identify compensable factors. Please understand, compensable factors are those basic factors which are needed to complete the job. Okay, for example, skills required to complete a job, or working conditions in which the job is to be completed, the accountability pertaining to the job, etc. are compensable factors. The second principle is jobs that require high qualification, more responsibility, higher accountability, and are complex should be paid higher than the others. Okay. Now, a question is raised, who does these activities to determine the worth of each job? The answer is simple, and it is the evaluation committees. Okay, let's understand how they work. They shall perform three functions. Okay, they shall perform three functions. The first function is to identify the key jobs. The second function is that they are supposed to select compensable factors pertaining to the identified key jobs. And finally, they need to evaluate the worth of each job. Okay, got the idea? The three functions performed by the evaluation committee. Then we have the different methods used by evaluation committee to evaluate the worth of each job. These are ranking, job qualification factor, and point method. We'll be covering these methods in detail in lecture titled Job Evaluation Methods. Okay. Let's move to our third step, that's grouping similar jobs into pay grades. Till now, we have identified the relevant worth of each job by using job evaluation. Now, the executive committee can turn to the task of giving pay grades to the similar jobs. Alright, a pay grades refers to the amount of pay an employee will get. Okay. There may come another question to the mind as why there is a need to have pay grades. You know, the basic purpose to assign pay grade is to classify or reflect the market and internal value of the job. When we say we are getting salary as per pay band 4, etc., we are trying to reflect the value of the job. The another reason as why pay grade is to ensure the pay equity. Okay, and there are many more that to be seen or to be observed, that why there is a need to have the pay grades. All right. Then while answering to how many pay grades, we need to refer to different factors like size of the organization, vertical distance in the organization, and promotional policies of the organization. By vertical distance, we mean the number of positions that are between the top boss and the lowest employee. Let's say the lowest job be of a assistant constable and the highest be of a special director general in BSF, Border Security Forces, and an assistant constable needs to take 8 promotions to become the special director general in BSF. Here, these 8 promotions defines the vertical distance of the organization. All right. In the process of grouping similar jobs into pay grades, we need to take a note that a pay grade consists of job having equal difficulty or importance as established by job evaluation. Kindly refer to the table on left where we have identified equal difficulty or importance jobs into 4 categories of border security forces. Like the first category includes assistant constable, constable, and assistant sub-inspector, and so on. Now comes up the second stage of the process, that is to assign grades. Here you can see 4 categories are given different grades, that is grade pay 1, 2, 3 and grade pay 4. Alright, all these pay grades hold different monetary value that we'll discuss in our coming steps. Alright, you know, there are some problems that are usually faced in establishing pay rates. Like for a large employer, it will be difficult to monitor and administer such plans of pay grades. Similarly, the smaller organization also has a tendency to have simple pay wages or salary structures. All right. Then we have our fourth step, that is pricing each pay grade, or we can say in this step we'll be defining the amount that is to be attached with each grade. Okay. Let's understand pricing each grade by means of wage curve. Wage curve is mostly used method for pricing the pay grades. A wage curve represents two things. The first is the value or worth of job identified by job evaluation. Okay, here in the figure, value of the job is represented as grades on x-axis. Hope you remember we assigned certain grades in our previous step also. Okay, and the second is the average pay being paid, average rates paid for different grades, that is represented by y-axis by price or rates, or we can say on x-axis we have the different worths or the different grouping of the jobs, and onto the y-axis we have the average rates or average price being given for the different groups of the jobs into the market. Okay, let's understand how we do the pricing of different grades. Here we have taken 4 grades: grade 1, grade 2, 3 and 4, as also discussed in previous steps. There are broadly 4 steps in pricing the grades. The first is we need to find average pay for a particular grade or group of jobs. Okay, this is what we have done in salary survey. Now, once we have the average pay for each group of job, the average price of different grades are plotted. The arrow in the figure on your right is pointing towards different average pay for each grade. Then these plots are joined to make the wage line. Here the blue line represents the wage line, and finally we price the jobs. To understand this in better way, we have created the pricing of different group of jobs of border security forces. In this, you can see that average of different grades are taken, then the wage line is drawn, and finally different prices are given for each grade. Please understand that the number of pay rates for different grades depend on vertical structure of the organization and its promotion policies also. Please see in the graph, for grade 1, BSF has created 4 pay rates, that is rupees 5400, 6400, 7400 and 8400, each represented by brownish red square. Okay, basically to say an employee who has joined the organization in grade 1 jobs, he needs to take 4 promotions to reach to grade 2 job. Okay, let's take an example. Let's say Mr. Ram joined BSF in grade 1 job as an assistant constable at grade pay of rupees 5400. He will be promoted to grade pay of rupees 6400 in next promotion, then on 7400, then on 8400, and later on he will be promoted to grade 2 of the last step of process. In our last step of process, we'll see how to fine tune the rates. Okay. Fine tuning involves developing pay range and correcting out of line rates. Let's see why there is a need to develop pay range. There are 2 main reasons. The first is that the pay range let the employer enjoy a flexibility in market. For example, if you want to recruit an experienced person in your organization, you can employ that person on higher side of pay range. Okay. Pay range also helps companies to identify performance differences and compensate them accordingly. All right. Please understand these pay range are best used in private sector compared to government sector, as government has fixed rule of promotions and performance appraisal doesn't exist as such as far as Indian continent is concerned. Pay range can also be defined as the maximum salary and the minimum salary that can be paid 2 or for a single job. Please refer to the figure. Here the BSF has created the pay range of nearly 20%. Pay range of 20% means that the highest pay rate of each grade will be about 20% higher than the average, and the lowest pay rate for each grade will be 20% lower than the average pay rates. Okay. For your reference, for grade 1, the average pay rates are 6,900 and the highest in grade pay is 8,400 and the lowest in grade pay 1 is 5,400. Both are nearly 20% above and below the average pay rates respectively. Alright, the two lines of yellowish color above and below the wage line are usually used to define the pay range. These two lines are drawn at 20% pay range for BSF. Then at second step, we correct out of line rates. Let's say someone is offered 25% above range. That will be fine tuned to 20% above average pay rates. Please note this problem of out of line rates does not exist in government departments. It is usually observed in private organizations. Alright. Further, it's also being observed that the corporate or private firms uses pay range between 15 to 25%. Okay. Hope you enjoyed the lecture. Feel free to write a feedback. Thanks for patience learning. Thank you.